the research proposal that the department is conducting in the current financial year. Chairperson, allow me to mention that we have chosen to present this proposal on asbestos, study on asbestos. However, it's not the only study that the department will conduct in the current financial year. We also have a study that seeks to assess the conditions of mud houses in the urban space and also in the rural area of the province. However, due to the similarities in terms of the proposals, then we decided to present one study, which is the study to assess the living conditions of communities, assessing the living conditions of communities where government subsidized houses are constructed with asbestos material. Worldwide, the production and the use of asbestos have resulted in unprecedented levels of human structures and continues to be a major public health issue. People who were exposed even decades ago are now being affected by catastrophic epidemic due to disease and usually long latency period. Asbestos remain significant in this industry and is still used extremely for shipbuilding, house construction, and insulation. Asbestos fibers do not typically escape from material that is in good condition, and disturbing it could cause or introduce a risk to health where there was none before. Leaving asbestos material alone in good condition is the best cause of action. Meaning, if i-asbestos ayikhange ibe mhlambi ichukumesekile ilondo or maybe have these scratches, is considered to be not to be a health hazard. But then if we are that will lead to a certain health conditions. And then the problem statement to our research study in terms of this asbestos was saying that the existence of asbestos within the within the settlements in the Eastern Cape province is contrary to the part of the mission to develop a sustainable human settlements, as my colleague has alluded on the mission and the vision of the department. Currently, there are no known conditions that are associated with the asbestos to communities where there are houses constructed with asbestos material in the province. This necessitates the study to determine the conditions associated with the existence of asbestos material. And then coming to the objectives of this study, the main objective of the study is to investigate the underlying conditions in communities where there are houses constructed with the material of asbestos in the province. This will be done through the following four subsidiary objectives, which is to determine the level of existence of asbestos in the area under study, to establish the conditions of the existing asbestos in the area under study, to examine awareness of the community members of the consequences of the existence of asbestos in the area under study, and lastly, to establish the government plan to manage asbestos in communities where there is existence of the asbestos. The main purpose of the study is to solicit empirical evidence on the living condition in communities where there is an existence of asbestos material due to government subsidized houses in the Eastern Cape province. It does not necessarily mean we'll only look on the government subsidized houses. We're also looking to check the existence of asbestos, even the one that is used maybe to create or to install imikuku ekhoyo areas where we will be conducting the study, so that will assist to come up with the findings in this study. And then the other purpose to collect the evidence. The collected evidence will help in guiding the Eastern Cape Department of Human Compliance on the best approaches to the management of the existence of asbestos within the space of human settlements development. Justification of this study. The study will inform the department about living conditions in communities where there is existence of asbestos material due to government subsidized houses in the Eastern Cape province. The collected evidence will display various parts of information and help deepen the departmental knowledge about the existence of asbestos in the province. It will further exhume more information in the social relations between the existence of asbestos community members and human settlements development practitioners. And lastly, evidence-based insight provided by the findings and recommendation of the study will help in developing a more responsive approach to the management of asbestos in the Eastern Cape province. And then the delimitation connected with the study is that there is a lack of availability and access to relevant resources to test the existence of asbestos fibers in the allegedly asbestos material may limit the data quality. The research will solely rely on the information as provided by respondents of the study to conclude on the relevance of the material. And then thirdly, aspects such as health conditions of community members within the area under study may be identified. However, conclusion may not be drawn that they are directly caused by the existence of asbestos. As we know, around the province there are some health conditions that are caused by some other aspects except for asbestos. So it will not be easy for us to just conclude that whatever health conditions associated with asbestos is due to the existence of that particular asbestos material. And lastly, this research may only associate the health problems but cannot conclude that it is directly caused by the existence of asbestos. I think I've just explained that. Methodology that the study will follow. The study will adopt a qualitative approach and identify different categories which are interest to the researcher. Chairperson, allow me not to bore you much about the technicalities of the research. However, the necessary data collected, data collection tools and techniques will be used to collect the required qualitative sets of data. And then this study will be carried out, in fact, in all the district municipalities or regions of the province, except for Alfrenzo, because they've indicated that they do not have any housing project that was built using this asbestos material. Be that as it may be, this in this region of Ikrisani, we have selected Ilinge with 250 units. This is where the study will take place within this region. And then data analysis, themes will be developed based on the existing literature, which is the information with regards to asbestos around the area and other relevant information asbestos in the area under study. And lastly, data will be interpreted and given meanings based on responses from the participants. That is the end of my presentation, Chairperson. Thank you.
With the terms of reference for the review of the Summit Integrated Human Settlement Sector Plan, which we are about to take the steps of consultation with stakeholders.